Hey people, I want to make another video and I just want to talk about setting up a MIDI controller to help you utilize the granular sampler on this. It can just help you avoid menu diving if you don't want to deal with that. It's really not that bad, but the majority of the tutorial is going to be on the iPad, but I'm going to show you in here real quick some MIDI channel settings. So this is the program change channel, channel 16, and this accepts program changes to switch your patterns. And my last video I did was about automating that with a different app, so go watch that if you want. This is the auto channel. This one lets you play chops or chromatic sample playback, and it's channel 15. This is the granular channel, channel 4, and this accepts the notes for the granular sampler. This is the sampler channel, channel 11 will trigger the entire pads. And so we're focusing on this one for the most part of the auto channel. I'll put a screenshot up, but in the manual it says there are 2 firmware versions, and this one is accepted by both, so I'm going with this one. If you want to switch it to the granular channel, you just want your MIDI settings to reflect either this or this. Alright, so I'm going to jump to the iPad now. Alright, so we're on the iPad. The first step is to come download this app, Midi Designer Pro X. It is free. It offers paid subscriptions, but I didn't get them, and you don't have to. You'll open it up. You can come to the config options, right? It opened for me. Obviously, I already have it, but you can download my layout in the description. Click on load layout, and then you just click it. It'll load up like that, and you're all good, you're set. And then you saw that message. I want to show you one thing. Let's see if I can get it. Little annoying pop-up sometimes will come right here when you first exit design mode. And so the good thing is this XY pad here is controlling these two, so you can still access these even if that pop-up is up there. Alright, and real quick, I want to show you how to set up the MIDI settings. So go to the config, and you want to go to connections on the bottom left, scroll down, and there I have P6 checked in the destinations. Alright, so I'll go into a little bit of some design options here. So if you tap on a blank spot on the screen, when you're in design mode, you get an option to choose your element and how many you can add, 1, 4, or 8. The cool thing, I would start, if you want to start from scratch, you put your first knob down and you set that one's MIDI channel. And then you can go back and add 8, 8, 8, whatever, and they will all automatically set into the correct channel. And as you move along, it will show you what available notes or CCs are left. So 1576 is what this one has. So if I wanted on this one to use 76, you see it's gone. So it helps you stay organized as you're designing. You can use multi-fingers all at once. So I got these 3, I got these 3 over here. Super fast, easy way to access it instead of going through the menu all one by one. You can just edit everything at once. And then all of a sudden you don't like how it sounds anymore. Just click on a preset and you're back to normal. All these knobs are going to be basically 0 to 127, which is just the range of the MIDI that is accepted. And so for some of the things that in the manual had very specific options, I've went ahead and made those easier so you don't have to use a knob, just easier to interface with, right? Cold and hot versus right and left on a knob. Because as you're turning these, and unless you're on the detune menu option, example specifically, you're not going to see anything on the P6 as you change all of these. So if it was just a knob, you might forget which is which. So I made these menus. I'll go through these first. So we have cold and hot start mode. In the mixers section down here, you can choose your output bus, your auto pan style here. We have the filter section. You can choose what filter you have: low pass, band pass, high pass, peaking filter. If the lo-fi button is not big enough, I'll show you how you can make that bigger. This part I think is cool. You can go and select your sample. This was probably the hardest one to set up. Let me go to the design tab. So for example, cold and hot is just 0 and 127. One is cold, one is hot. And you go, if you go into the MIDI tab, or maybe it's advanced, where is it? You can use named ticks. And I'll show you a not named tick as well. But cold is 0, hot is 127. If you go to something like this, you just have ticks like this, numerical ticks. And then for something like this, the ticks will look like 0, 1, 2, 3. The same for this output bus or the filter, the envelope mode. All these are gonna just be like 0, 1, 2 for the menus. But the samples is basically you have 48 samples into 127, and it gets divided up weird. So you can set the number of ticks. It'll create 48 ticks automatically, and then you click use named ticks, which will give you the option to overwrite the names. And then I went through kind of trial and error until each of these gave me the actual sample I was looking for. But now you don't have to do that, because if you're using this app, you can just download it. You don't even have to worry about it. If you're watching this to set up a different MIDI controller, you could even just use this if you want. Here, I'll scroll through, and you can just pause it, and you can watch, and you can map this to any MIDI controller. Basically looks like that. Then the patterns, this is the only one. All the rest are going to be channel 15 sending control changes, but this one is channel 16 sending the program changes, and it's sending 0 to 63. And if you go here, the ticks are named to align with the patterns. So in terms of the granular sampler, you can use the patterns kind of like presets on the P6, because it'll save your settings per pattern. And then on top of that, with this app, you can save presets here. So, and the cool thing is when you do a preset, it will send all the MIDI. So it will instantly get you into the same state, even on the P6. It's not like you have to go and like jiggle each one to send a MIDI. It will send all as you do that preset, which is cool. So obviously the size, totally customizable. The color is not, because I'm on a free version. But that doesn't bother me that much. All right, so that's basically it for the tutorial. I hope I explained it well. Leave a comment if I didn't, or if I can explain something better. I'm gonna cut to a quick demo of just me messing around with this. And yeah, thanks for watching, and leave a comment if you have anything you want to see.